Now then, let's make sure we're clear on what is a project phase and what is not a project phase. A project phase is a collection of logically related project activities that when completed produces a major project deliverable. Remember, a deliverable is a tangible, verifiable work product such as a feasibility study, a detailed design, or a working prototype. Usually the deliverables, and therefore the phases, are worked on sequentially to make the whole project easier to manage and control. Now let's look at what is not a project phase. For example, sub-projects are not project phases. Sub-projects are created to complete specific deliverables and will usually be a subset of one of the project phases. This means that sub-projects are not project phases. In fact, each sub-project will have its own beginning, middle, and end, will have its own project life cycle. Remember, sub-projects are not project phases. Project management process groups are not project phases. If you've been around projects for any length of time, you will for sure have heard of project management process groups. Developed over the years by the academics in an attempt to complicate matters, project management processes organize and describe the work of the project. Well, I admit, yes, they do. These project management processes are performed by the project team and are interrelated, but project management process groups are not project phases. The usual process groups that you for sure will have heard about are initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. Each process group consists of several individual processes that collectively make up the process group, and collectively these process groups, including all their individual processes, make up the overall project management process. Projects start with initiating processes in the initiation process group and progress through to processes in the planning process group, processes in the executing process group, and so on until the project is successfully closed. But remember, the process groups are not the project phases. The work breakdown structure is not a project phase. It's a good idea to use the project lifecycle phases as the first level of the work breakdown structure, and if you do, it's generally called a phase-oriented WBS, and you can be pretty sure that all the scope of the work is included at this first level. Then the phase deliverables can be described at the second and lower levels of the WBS. But remember, the work breakdown structure is not a project phase. Let's now discuss the monitoring of project performance from the project lifecycle and project phases perspective. If the project lifecycle is a phase-oriented view of the project, then we should be able to use the project lifecycle as one way to monitor the project progress against the project goals. There will always be a definable set of deliverables to be handed over at the end of a phase. So the end of a phase is a good time to reflect on the accomplishments of the project as a whole. This is one of the times during the project when we can look at the objectives and evaluate performance against objectives if necessary. If the objectives are not being met, do we change the objectives? Do we change the strategy, the way the project is being managed? Shall we terminate the project? If the project moves ahead, should new goals be set? This phase-oriented progress review is called a phase gate or a stage gate review. And remember, the end of a phase is treated as a decision gate. The project does not pass through the gate unless it is reviewed and decisions made to continue to the next phase.